feel your energy and I'm wow, nice. So yun, in case you don't know, you're in a fellowship of still waters. And ginagawa namin yung fellowship mainly because yun, we want people to gather and have time to talk about stuff na some people find strangely taboo. Pero yung isang reason pa sa fellowship na to is kasi I was informed that most of you went through exams, may nag-math 17, nag 16, may mga na-13, exam sa 13.
114.
So, yun.
114.1.
Yung na to, pang relieve lang yung stress. Although yung movie kanina ay sobrang disturbing. Ewan ko paano nag-bring ng relief. So, yeah. Pero, yung sa mga nag-exam, can I see a show of hands? Sino dito yung naka-uno? Naka 1, 2, 5. Grabe! Yan, biboking yan. Basta yan. Gaya nyo. Sino naka-uno? 1, 2, 5, 1.5. Gaya siya papas na ako. Okay. Pero, so I assume na marami, na a lot of people in this room ay sobrang humble. Naka-uno talaga. Si RJ yung medyo confident siya. Pero, I'd also like to ask, sino sa inyo yung barely passed or nag-fail dun sa exam? Huwag kayo mag-tapos na kamay. Mag-smile lang kayo sa akin. Smile.
Simangot na ako.
So, marami akong nakikita ng ngipin, kaya ina-assume ko lang na nakauno pa rin kayo, tapos may hindi talaga So, doon sa mga nakauno, grabe congrats, keep it up. Kayo na, imba kayo. Kayo na talaga. Grabe.
Thank you.
Pero, punta ko dun sa mga nag-barely pass and fail. I would like to ask you one question. If I were to give you a chance to go back and to correct yourself, would you take it? So, would you pass up the opportunity na bibigay ko sa'yo na itatama yun? Think about this. Imagine na may button ako. Na kapag nagkamali ako sa exam, isinama ko, wait, Control Z ko lang ng buhay ko. Control Z, bumalik ako. Tapos nako-correct ko. Wouldn't it make life easier for me? Wouldn't it make it more convenient? Diba? Palagi akong perfect. Isipin mo, nakauno ko. Isipin mo yung mga ex ko, kapata 7, kapata G's pa taas mga ganun. Pero, on a scale of 1 to 10, this girl is a number. Pero, diba, if such a button existed, would you really pass up the chance to use it?
No.
Kung kailangan mo? No. Take this for example. Kunyari, ako. Alam mo yung kasabihan na pag nadulas ka, ayos na yun kasi kaya panto mo yun. Pero pag nadulas yung dila mo, hindi ka na parang hindi mo na mababawi yun. Now think of this. Kunyari, kausap ko si Bea. So sinasabi ko, grabe Bea, ang late mo. Click. Grabe Bea, ang late mo. Click. So binabalik ko na siya ng binabalik. Until I say something na hindi naman ganun ka-hurtful siguro. So,
Hindi mo naman na-hurt naman.
Vertically, si Bea ay, vertically challenged.
Vertically unique.
Now, that would actually be great. Kasi, di ba, it would help you solve a lot of conflicts and stuff. Pero, the problem is, that button doesn't exist. Okay? Walang tangible button na pag pinindot mo, tatama, autocorrect na. Walang ganun. Walang control Z ang buhay. Hindi ka parang Windows na pag nagkamali ako sa pinatype ko, control Z na ako, tapos babalik. It's not like that. But I'm not saying that those buttons do not exist. They're just not tangible. Okay? Now, what I'm about to share to you are the ways to access this. These buttons that will help you correct yourself. Yeah, grabe no? Steve, nagmamarket ako ng isang object na hindi tangible. Undipid. DA major daw ang 5 month off. So, what I would like you to do is, grab a friend who has a Bible or grab his Bible.
Grab his Bible.
Tapos turn to Matthew 7. Tapos if you're already there, wink at me. Kasi, wink. Matthew 7. Verse 1 to 6. Yung mga guys, wag na kayo mag-wink. Ina-assume ko nandiyan na kayo. Yung girls, sige, wink lang. Kasi concerned ako sa girls. So. Yeah, so ang creepy na kasi nag-wink sa akin ng mga guys. So, ina-assume ko na nandiyan na kayo. Matthew 7.
Sino nag-survive? Share tayo.
So, again, I am showing you the quick access to correcting without flaw. There are 3 accesses or 3 buttons that you want to access. The first button is the undo button that allows ourselves to be corrected perfectly. So, chapter 1, verse 1. Chapter. Verse 1. Judge not that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Now, when you're correcting someone, so in order to see, let's say, Eris, I am expressing a form of authority over him. I have the ability right now to say na, bro, parang I feel that something you're doing is wrong, so let's stop first, let's try to figure it out. Tapos, yun, then we can go forward. It's that. It's you. When you're correcting people, you have that authority. Now, your authority is limited. So, essentially, there will be someone higher than you who can correct you, and you're accountable to him. Someone's higher than him, he's accountable to that guy, and it forms a chain. Now, there. But it's not simply a chain. Si Aries can correct me, and I can correct him. Aries, kaya niya correct si Jared. Si Jared, kaya niya correct si Rani. Yeah! Ano pa pangalan mo? Pali si Joma, kaya mo correct. So, it's not simply a chain na tuloy-tuloy ng pataas. It's actually a web. Okay? Of correcting each other. Now, that's all I'm good about. So, I have the responsibility of correcting my brother, sina Aries, gano'n. But there's something wrong there. If I were to merely correct you, na wala lang, basta correct kita, would that seem right? Kung basta-basta lang kita correct, na wala naman talagang problem din. Is that right?
No.
No. Yan, salamat sa panonood. Dito kay RJ. Di ba nag-exams tayo? Imagine kung yung exams yung multiple choice. So may answer keys yan, di ba? Yung prof nyo, nung chinecheck niya, wala siyang answer. Pinuhulaan niya lang. So, check. O, dito sa set na to, kunyari, A, B, A, B, A, B, C, A, B, A, B. Tapos dito naman, kahit pareho sila, B, D, C, C, A, C, B, D. Would that be reliable?
No.
Diba? How would you feel kung malaman mo ganun yung pag-check ng paper? Hindi ka ba magagalit? Oh, kahit hindi multiple choice, kahit yung mga subjective, kung iba yung standards na nilalagay niya, parang it's wrong. Kung wala pala siyang standards, right? The need for standard is there when you're correcting something. If you're correcting something without checking it against a standard, basically you're doing something pointless. I mean, you should stop right there. Now, I would ask you, who here can think of a perfect standard for anything? Sino dito kayo nagsipin ng perfect standard para sa pagkain? Pero masarap ang pagkain kapag lasa niya ganito. Sino dito makakaisip ng perfect standard para sa girlfriend? Siyempre ako. All of us will have an imperfect standard. Okay? We can only view certain things at very little increments na hindi natin nakuha lahat of information na kailangan natin to create a perfect standard. It's like this. So, balik tayo dun sa prof nyo. Medyo bumait na siya, gumawa siya ng answer key. So, 1 to 100 yung test nyo. 1 to 50, maayos. Pero yung 50 to 100, random pa rin. It's incomplete, it's imperfect. Pag chinek ba yun against your paper, sa palagay niyo ba, tama yung pagkaka-check? Or naman pa rin yung probability na mali yung pagkaka-check sa kanya?
Mali.
Diba? Ayun nyo kasi sabihin na, nandun. You make things complicated. It's not good. Pero, yeah. Wouldn't it be better if someone would create an answer key sa test na yun? Now, without flaw, he checked it meticulously. He spent nights just checking it na maging tama, pati yung numbering niya para walang maging flaw.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be nice if that were the standard used against you?
Yeah.
Pag chinek siya.
Yes.
So, I have a question. Sino kaya abutin yung in this room? Wala? Oh, sorry. That's true. Okay. Because we are corrected perfectly when we are set against a perfect standard.
Yeah.
But since all of us, when we correct each other, we have only imperfect standards. We can't correct each other perfectly. So, the only person who can do that is God. Now, the first button is allowing yourselves to be corrected perfectly. That means when you want to access that button, you allow God to correct you against His perfect standard. Not the imperfect standards of men, but the perfect standard. Okay? Para pag chinekan yung grupo mo, kung puno ka talaga, puno ka. Kung tres ka, tres. Wala pa rin naman. Okay, so remember, I'm giving you a quick access to correcting without flaw. The second button, which is an access, is the undo button that corrects ourselves first before correcting others. Okay, lumakas ba si Bea? Kasi siya yung MVP. Okay. Kasi, sino dito balak maging surgeon?
Surgeon.
Surgeon, yung surgeon, parang gumagin sa surgeon.
Sino si Surgeon?
Si surgeon.
Wala John dito eh.
Kaya, diba? You see the surgeons, may surgical gloves sila, may face mask, gano'n. Tapos kapag bago sila mag-operate, nagugas sila ng kamay. Kung nanap kayo ng Grey's Anatomy, huwag niyo panoorin yun, sir, kung bakit. Pero kung napanood niyo siya, sobrang meticulous ng pag-prepare nila sa sarili nila bago sila mag-engage sa isang operation. Kunyari, ako ay isang patient. May sakit yung puso ko. Heart bypass. Kailangan ko ng heart bypass. Okay? So, yun, nakahiga ako sa operating table. Let's assume na yung surgeon ko ay hindi kinorect yung sarili niya. So, hindi siya nag-prepare. So, yung kamay niya, puro grasa. Kunyari,
Mechanical surgeon.
Since nagmamadali siya, hindi na siya nag-suot ng gloves, tapos hindi na siya naghugas, tapos hihimayin yung puso ko ganyan.
Iba yan.
Tapos, let's say na yung surgeon na yun ay may sakit. Tapos since nagmamadali nga siya kasi gusto niya akong isave, wala siyang face mask. Tapos bumabahin-bahin siya sa chest cavity. Sa palagay niyo ba, ma-heal ako yung surgeon na yun? Okay. Now, what if that surgeon took the time to correct himself? He cleaned his hands very thoroughly kasi hawakan niya yung heart. Pag nadumihan kasi yun, parang mahirap na, di ba? Kahit niya parang prick mo lang yun. It's very hard on the patient. Tapos, nag-face mask pa siya kasi tapos in-ensure niya na wala siyang sakit. Tapos very careful yung pag-operate niya sa akin. Would I be okay after the operation? Diba? Mas mataas yung chances of success. And when you're correcting people, that's important. You correct yourself first. Okay? If we go to the chapter 7, verse 3, it says that, why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there is the log in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. So you're correcting yourself first before you correct someone else. Okay? Ito pa. So, lahat naman kayo na groups, may parang duman sa mga group meetings kayo, di ba? May mga naging leaders na sa inyo, gano'n. If you were to follow a leader na sinabi na, pumunta kayo dito ng alas 6, pero siya mismo dadating ng mga alas 11, gusto niyo ba yung leader? Sir, nangyari na sa akin yun.
Ikaw yun ah.
Ikaw yun mo.
Eh, ako yung pinamaaga, dumating ako ng 7. Pero, di ba? That leader loses his credibility pagdating sa members niya. He can't correct them when he wants, if he wants to. Kasi his credibility to them nawala, di ba? He can't do this certain task by himself. So why would people listen to them? Diba? Let's say na may bahay kayo, tapos malapit siya sa marangay na fault line. Pag lumapit pa sa'yo isang taong gasa, tapos sinabi, Brad, dapat divide mo yung bahay mo kasi nasa fault line ka, lumipat ka na. Kasi hindi mo ba yung taong gasa yun? Misa sila, hindi kayo risk taker. Pero what if yung nagsasabi sa inyo ay isang licensed geologist ng leads, di ba? UP ka naman, sumakot daw. Pag sinabi ko sa'yo na delikado ang posisyon ng bahay mo, kaya kailangan mo lumipat, susundin mo ba siya?
Yes.
Yeah, di ba? He has that credibility. You need that credibility when you are correcting other people. So, yeah, that's the second button, which is the undo button that corrects yourself first before you correct others. Now, remember, I'm giving you 3 access points, 3 buttons that you can press that allow you quick access to correcting without flaw. Now, the first button is very, very important. It's called the undo button that protects us from correcting arrogant people. Okay? Before I start, di ba sinabi ko kanina, we are accountable to each other. We correct each other kasi it's right, di ba? I can correct Jared can correct me, pwede mo correct Gian, tapos yung random guy sa labas pwede yung correct ko, pwede niya ako correct. Sige, ikaw ba yan? Hindi, pero di ba? Does that mean we should keep correcting other people? I mean, do we set a limit? Do we draw the line somewhere? Verse 6 tells us that. Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample on them underfoot and turn to attack you. Yan, this is a very deep metaphor. Pero let me explain that. When you see a dog, it's noisy, diba? It barks. Lalo na pag it feels pressure, it will bark at you. Pag ang isang taong arrogante, nilapitan mo yan at sinabi mo, ay, parang may mali kang ginagawa. Try mong gawin to. He might listen. He might. Pero most likely, ang gagawin niya, he will lash out at you. Parang sasabihin niya, ano ba pare? Hindi naman. Grabe ka naman. I'm not gay. I'm just curious and stuff. So, and stuff. So, pare, grabe. It's very, grabe, diba? It's barking up. They keep on barking up. So, if you were to take your good intentions, packing the little packages, parang pearls, tapos ibibigay mo sa kanila, they won't appreciate it. No. They'll hate you for it. Okay? People who are arrogant think of themselves so high that they'll think na hindi sila nagkakamali. Nag-up ako sa Isaac, tapos may isa akong nakilala na random freshie. Tapos, nung nakita ko siya, sobrang down niya. Hindi, lalaki. So, yung guy na yun, he was feeling down. Tapos, medyo na-curious ako kasi, wala, parang ang atmosphere kasi medyo party mood. So, nag-wonder akong bakit. So, nilapitan ko siya. Tapos, nagkukwento siya, kinento niya tungkol din sa English 1 prof niya. Tapos, ang kinakwento niya, na yung nakakainis daw yung professor nila. Yung professor nila, ang trato niya sa estudyante nila, parang wala silang alam sa English. Kung ano yung sinasabi niyang tamang sentence, yun ang yung tama. Parang ayaw, kung ano yung gusto nila, kahit na mas tama yung sala, kahit na mas coherent yun, Kaya siya na-bad trip. Alam niyo bakit? Kasi may isang sentence daw siya na parang nakamali. Tapos parang pinarag na sabi niya, ay ma'am, di ba dapat ko parang ganito? Tapos parang nakahimik yung prof. So kala niya, wow, okay, nakorek ka. Tapos bumulyaw daw siya ng mga 10 minutes lang. It's part that arrogant person was barking for 10 minutes long. Deny lang the correct person na yun. When people are... in-advise ko sa ano yun actually. Pero parang sabi niya, sabi niya, grabe sayang 3 units nun. Hindi ka pa mag-take. Pero, ito. The third button protects us from our enemy. Okay? God wants to keep us safe from these people. If you can't correct them the first time, then bring someone so may witness ka na kina-correct mo siya. If it still doesn't listen to you, bring more people. If it still doesn't, bring the whole church there. Magayo pa rin na treat them. Parang get away from them. Okay. God is protecting us from the people. He doesn't want the arrogant people to lash out at us. Okay? Kasi pag sino ba yung kilala ko arrogant? Maliban sa akin. Pero I was reading your mind. Pero hindi. There was this story na nirelate sa akin. Medyo fuzzy siya eh. Pero ang story niya, kinukwento ng staff ng ganito one time. Na parang may isang client sila. Medyo feeling niya sobrang galing niya. Feeling niya porket may PhD siya, galing na siya kagaling. Yung PhD naman niya parang pinuha lang sa kung saan mo. Pero sobrang arrogant ng tao. Nung may napansin na mali sa parang ginawa niyang statement, I think, for contractor na medyo fuzzy na talaga. He went all out of his way to sue that staff ng that. He didn't win kasi he didn't have a case. But that proves how far arrogant people will go to, I don't know, maintain this air that I'm better than you. Thunder naman.
Magkakaganayan ko doon.
So the third button is really quite simple. If you're faced with an arrogant person and you correct him the first time and he still doesn't listen, you did your job, don't feel guilty. It's his choice that he didn't listen. He committed no sin there. It's his problem, not yours. It's his loss, not yours. What you should do instead is to find a wise person and correct him. Pag ang isang tao matalino, at alam niyang nagkamali siya at may pumuna doon, hindi niya i-take negatively. He'll take it positively. Okay? Magagamit niya kasi yun para ayusin yung sarili niya, which is the purpose of correcting talaga. So, that's it. If you see an arrogant person, and I know you will, lalo na kung mag-ahap kayo sa mga courts, you'll meet members who think you're less than garbage, mga ganun. Sa Isaac naman hindi. Stick to that. Lalo na sa Stelo, di ba? The best diba? Wala members na ganun. Pero, God just wants us to be safe. Na hindi tayo mag-endanger dahil na gusto natin i-correct ang tao na ayaw na pagpunan. Yeah, so those are the 3 buttons. The first one being the unmute button that allows us to be correct perfectly. The second one is the unmute button that corrects ourselves before we correct other people. And the third one is the button that protects us from arrogant people. And yung buttons na to, hindi na sila tangible, diba? So, baka medyo mahirap na tandaan kasi wala akong notepad na click lang dito. What I want you to keep in mind is actually quite simple. Is that when you're correcting a person, you are always accountable for you correcting that person. will always be a help.